get out of the normal 9 to 5. I always encourage people to follow their passion and become self-sufficient. I've done it my whole life, and it is doable. You simply make a cake, put it on Facebook, and before you know it, you'll have all kinds of people wanting cake, and it can turn into a very lucrative business for you, honestly. Let's see, I see her on here, so we will try get her on here. Okay, I think it's gonna work this time. I think it's gonna work this time, you guys.
Okay.
Hey,
Can you hear
I
me?
can hear you. Can you?
Okay, good. Yeah, sorry about that. I'm technologically challenged to say the least.
I mean, I'm the same, but let me ask you one thing because I've had a thing with. Do you see me in the middle of your screen or? Okay,
Yes, I see you. Yeah, I
okay.
see you good.
Because I've had, I don't want to be doing no crazy shots because I see it normal on my end too.
Yeah, you
So,
look great. Yeah, you're in the middle.
well, yay, let's talk cake.
Okay, let's do.
So, what actually, like, how did cake become your love language? I mean,
Well, like I was telling you yesterday, I'm a Virgo, and so I'm kind of a control freak. And so it really started selfishly because we were all going out to Jack Allen's like probably 20 years ago, and I wanted a birthday cake, but I wanted to make my own birthday cake because I didn't, think anybody else could do it. And so I made the Italian amaretto cream cake that I sent you the recipe for, and we went to Jack Allen's, and we had a ton of cake left. And so the people back in the back, like the chef had some, and he's like, "This is the best cake I've ever had," and so I was like, "Wow, I think I've got a talent for this." And so then it just kind of mushroomed into, my friend's birthday would come up, and I'd be like, "Let me make you a cake," because I love practicing, and it was really kind of a trial and error thing because when I first started baking, I made a ton of mistakes. Like I watch these people who are professional chefs and have gone to like the cordon bleu school, and they're so good and everything's so artistic, and my cakes are always delicious, but sometimes, they're not the most beautiful cakes. Like I'm not about decorating the cakes or anything, but it just kind of started where I would ask friends, what do you want for your birthday? And I make cakes, and I love doing it. I just love it. It's like, being able to bake something for someone you love there's no better feeling. There's absolutely no better feeling than listening to music and baking a cake for someone I love. It's a perfect day for me.
that's, I love how you feel about it too, because it made me see it in a whole new perspective, really. But that's true. That's, you know, breaking bread. That's how we show our love. And
That's
um,
right.
a lot, and baking is not forgiving like normal cooking. So a lot goes into it.
Yeah, that's true. I've made mistakes with baking that have like ruined an entire cake. I've had to start over, just even making that tres leche cake. I was going to grease a pan, and I didn't have butter, and that tres leche cake doesn't call for butter. And so I was going to go to the store and get butter to grease the pan, and I didn't. I used cooking oil. Huge mistake. I put the cooking oil, make sure it was really, covered the cake pans, and floured it and everything just like I would with butter, but it stuck. And so then I was cussing and screaming and, almost crying because it's like, oh no, I'm trying to get it unstuck, and so it's like, that's a lesson learned. So a lot of
Right,
times it's just something like that where it's like, I'll never make that mistake again,
right,
and just being proficient at, at separating egg whites and egg yolks. And I learned something new. Like the last time I did a recipe, I always, crack the egg and use the cracked egg to kind of strain it through. And I read it's like the best way to do it is with your bare hands. And so you pour the whole thing into your hand and let the whites drip through your fingers. And I
wow,
was like, this is the perfect, because with the cracked egg, when I'm doing it back and forth, there's a danger that you're gonna, you know, poke the egg yolk, it's gonna go through. So it's like you see, and it running through your hands, you know, it's just the weirdest feeling. But it's like just stuff like that. Like the more I look at recipes, because I'm not like some self-taught cook. I'm going by recipes, you know. I'm
Right.
not like doing cakes that I've got memorized in my head from scratch. I wish I was good like that, but I'm always looking at a recipe. But just reading the different baking tips that people have, and it's such an art, you know. I mean, like I'll never understand everything there is to learn about baking, and pie crust is a completely different story. I keep trying to master a pie crust, and I just don't know. I think I'm too old to master the pie crust. I'll stick with the cake. So
It's definitely an art. I mean, because and pie crust, I can't even do it because I have like a rotor cuff chair that I've had for years. But it's a lot of work that goes into it.
it is.
And like
Yeah,
you
yeah, for
said,
sure.
even like I'm into herbalism, but like you'll never learn everything. You're always going to be learning. And I just learned something new with the egg. That's awesome. Like, um, I love learning new things every day. So that was
Me
one.
too.
Um,
Yeah,
so
yeah, me
what
too.
are your two favorite cakes?
Like I said, I made that vegan cake, and it is so good. I mean, it is delicious, vegan or otherwise. And it's a big 3-layer cake, and I really enjoyed making that. That it was delicious because my favorite cake is it's really boring. I love birthday cake. Like I love white cake with white icing, just
Yeah.
very boring, like birthday cake. And so that vegan cake from the Banana Diaries is just kind of like a really basic cake, but it's really, really moist. And the other one I love is I make a lemon cream cake that my girlfriends love. They all request that. Um, and you had said you're a big fan of chocolate, and
Yeah.
I'm not really. I don't really like chocolate that much. I mean, I'll eat chocolate, but that's not my favorite thing. But I have an amazing chocolate cake that's got
Really.
buttermilk and dark chocolate and milk chocolate and the egg whites and the egg yolks separated, and it's real fluffy. It's delicious. So I there's
Wow.
no cake that I don't like. And I was not even a fan of tres leche cake because I've had tres leche cake and like I don't know, like maybe I forgot where I've had it, like probably a restaurant or something. I was never crazy about tres leche cake, but I had a girlfriend that was coming in town from Florida, and she requested a strawberry tres leche cake, and so I found this strawberry layer cake recipe, and now I love tres leche cake because I made it myself, and it was fresh, it's delicious, you know. And so by baking that cake, I really started liking that type of cake, and then I ended up baking it for my son who just walked in the house too for his
Yeah.
birthday.
So how, I mean, how did you were telling me yesterday, like it's relaxing and mentally, like that kind of stuff for you. That's what I thought was like really, really cool because it is a passion of yours.
It is, and it's I always tell people it's like no matter what's going on in my life, if I'm stressed out about something, if I'm baking, I have to concentrate on what I'm doing. You know, I have to concentrate on what I'm doing because I'm so attention deficit that if I'm thinking about something else, I'm going to mess it up, you know. So when I'm baking, I have to just focus on baking, you know. I can't think about anything else. And it's just a chance to just kind of put everything else that's going on in my life to the side. And when I'm baking a cake, it's like it's very meditative, you know. It's just it's so relaxing. You know, it's work, but it's just I don't know what it is, but it is so relaxing. And you know, sometimes I'll just like just go get some stuff and just you know bake some lemon bars or something just to you know just to be baking just to there's a saying on Pinterest that says I bake because murdering people is not right or something like that, you know, because it's like it is kind of I think a lot of people bake because it is a stress reliever, you know, which is weird because you're usually I'm doing it and it's like I've got to get this done and I'm going to, you know, going to dinner with some people and I got to bring this cake. And so it should be stressful, but it's like just you can't think of anything else when you're baking cake.
Yeah,
You just can't be thinking about anything else. So
that's really I
yeah.
like
So
that.
it's relaxing.
So have you ever thought of doing a side hustle with your cakes or making it, more of that or?
I haven't, and I've had people, ask me that, and like I said yesterday, I'm afraid that if I had to do it, I would start not wanting to do it. If it was something I had to do and for money, I'm afraid I would start not liking it. I think that's been one hesitation, because I just do it because I love
Yeah.
it. But that's like anything in life. Like if you're doing it when you want to do it, it's
Yeah.
like, oh, I love this. But if it's like you're on a deadline and you have to get it done, then it's a different story, and then it becomes kind of,
Yeah.
can be some stress. So yeah, but you put a bug in my ear about that, and I'm gonna start thinking about that for sure.
I'm glad, because I have a girlfriend, a really good girlfriend of mine, and she same thing. She just posted a cake, started posting cakes on Facebook that she made, and she finally she didn't, she was losing her love of it, because it got to
Right.
be too much. She was in that, but she still makes some, because she still loves to do it. But it is a lot of work and stuff like that.
Yeah.
When you start getting into that, that kind of cake making,
Right. Yeah, and some of the, like the wedding cakes and things that I've seen where they're just like, they're so, I mean, it's like you have to be an artist to do that type of cake baking, where you're baking the cake and it's decorated to, it's like a masterpiece. So, yeah, but those cakes are, I've seen those cakes are extremely expensive. So I always think, I don't know how much I could get, but I remember when my kids were young, they'd have like I would volunteer a meal, and if for like, I guess it was like PTA or something, and they'd auction it off. That was kind of fun. Like somebody would auction, would bid on it, and I would go make them dinner and everything. So
hmm
that was really cool, because I got a lot of really favorable response from that. So
I
yeah, it's just
remember
it's
when,
a happy thing when people love, what you're baking. And half the time, like when I'm baking, like I've never tasted the cake, and so the first time I'm tasting the cake is when we're sitting around at dinner and I'm with friends and I've never had it, and somebody will take that first bite, and then I hear somebody say, "Oh, this is delicious," and it's like, that just warms my heart. It's like
yeah,
the success story.
yeah. I mean, I remember when my son went to elementary school, which was years ago, but they used to have like the field day with the cakewalk, and I don't even know if they have that every day, but it was always nice,
Yeah.
and there would be everybody's homemade cakes, but and the smell of your house, I know that smells amazing when you're baking.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that
it does.
you got any tips for people that are starting off and doing cakes or
Um, I would just say, just don't be too hard on yourself, when you're baking it, because it's you're going to make mistakes, and there was some times that I've screwed something up and I'm like, I don't even know what I'm doing, and then I just keep hammering away at it, and I get better and I learn things, and I get the tools, like I just got one of the, like the little cake smoother, because I'd never
Mhm.
used that. There's just things I learn as I go along. When I first started cooking, just not knowing what I was doing, like I made a lot of mistakes in terms of baking or cooking. But as long as you love doing it, if you're baking and you enjoy it, just keep doing it. Things might come out and they're not perfect, but what I always tell people, it's like, this cake might not be the prettiest cake, because I've had cake layers slide off and I'm putting them back on there, but it's going to be delicious. It
Yeah,
may be falling apart, but it's going to be delicious. So as long as you're baking and you're having fun and you're enjoying yourself and it tastes good, just, keep doing it, just like anything else. So
yeah.
I'm just an amateur cake baker, but I love doing it. Love doing it. So,
Well, I enjoyed talking to you about it too.
yeah, I've enjoyed talking to you about everything that you do too. I really want to talk to you more about just your natural remedies for things like we were talking about yesterday. So I look
Yeah,
forward to hearing more of what you're doing. So
yeah, and
it's good
I
talking
I
to you.
love this. Like me and you would have never talked if
Yeah.
to this. So like it brought us together, and that's what we
Yep.
need, you know. So I'm glad we're talking now, and we can, you know, progress our relationship from here. And I look forward to getting to know you more. And
Yeah. I know. Hopefully one day I'll get to bake a cake for you.
yes, and you know, girl, after looking at all these cakes, I'm like drooling. I need some cake now, you know. So it's in my
Yeah, I'll
forecast.
have to make you a cake. We'll have to figure that out.
Yeah,
Something that I can ship that travels well.
yeah,
Maybe do cupcakes or something.
right.
Because I've got the perfect chocolate cake for you.
Oh my God, send me the recipe. Put it
I
down in the
will.
comments or
Okay.
something. I
I
love
will.
I love dark chocolate, but all the chocolate, you know, I love cake. So when you said cake, I was like, I would love to talk cake with you, and we'll bring you back on here as you're learning more and stuff. And
Okay.
I'm excited
That
that
sounds
you're
great.
thinking about it as a side hustle and just, you know, as an income in the future to get away from the grind, you know, because
Right.
why not do what
Yeah.
you love? I mean,
I
I've done
agree.
it, you know,
Yep.
people need to have their time freedom back and be like, you know,
Yes.
and
Yeah, I'm not a fan of working myself to death. So it's like anything I can do to work less, I'm all for it. I think we're here to enjoy this planet and we're not here to work ourselves to death. I'm a firm believer in just, like enjoying your life. Like if you're not enjoying your life, uh, mentally quit what you're doing, mentally quit, and then eventually get to the point where you can physically quit until you're doing something that you love and it makes you happy because we only have this one life, this is it. So got to make it count.
yes, you do. And
Yeah.
that's great advice because you know, especially the last 3 years, everybody's just been thrown into such uh, you know, all the isolation, all the problems. Like we, you know, that's why I'm glad we're doing this because the people
Yeah.
they need the connection more than anything right now.
Yeah. And it was interesting during the pandemic because a lot of people took up baking.
Yeah,
Did you notice
yeah,
that where everybody was like doing sourdough starter and everything? And a lot of people started baking, and I thought that was really cool because that was a very stressful period of time for all of
yeah.
us. It was a lot of fear involved. And I think that people, realized that that was something that was comforting. So I thought that was really
think
cool.
right
People
now,
baking.
I think right now everybody's just grasping to try to get that connection, and you know, so,
Yes.
it's good. Everybody needs, we all need to be supporting each other and everything right
Yeah.
now and reaching out.
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah,
glad
because
we
human
connected.
connection, I think that that's what's lacking in the world today with everything is internet and everything, and these kids, like a lot of depression with teenagers and everything, and it's a lack of human connection. And like baking, sharing food with other people, that's an ancient practice, and I think we all have to get back to that. Get out of our rooms and off of our screens and get around a big table and like you said, break bread and
Yeah,
enjoy each other's company. And yeah,
yeah,
warms us. It rejuvenates us. And I'm an introvert, and I love being by myself. I love being at home by myself. Love it, love it, love it. But it's like, I don't want to be around people all the time, but it's like it's so rejuvenating, to be around my friends and sitting around and eating and
yeah, yeah.
just kind of, we need that.
I'm the same way. I've actually hid in the woods for 10 years. I'm just now coming out. But
Yeah, I was very envious of that.
yeah. And I'll be going back once my grandbabies grow up a little bit, but I definitely, you know, like being around for them more. Um,
Right.
but yeah, we do need connection and we do need support, you know. So
Yeah,
we need good people in our lives, and
that's
you
right.
know, they're out there. We just
Yeah.
need to. So,
Yeah.
anything else you want to talk about, Leah?
I don't think so. I really appreciate the opportunity. I always love talking about cake.
I
So thank you so much for allowing me to do that.
thank you for coming. I'm glad that you came on, and I'm sure people got some inspiration from it. And thanks for joining us, everyone.
Thank you.
And chime in. We would love to hear from you. And join us here live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday
Okay.
at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And next, we will be talking cannabis, sexuality and sex. So should
Cool.
be interesting.
All right. That sounds awesome.
Stay tuned, everyone. I'll see you later, Leah. I'll definitely
Thank
be in
you.
touch.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I look forward to talking to you
Okay.
more. Thanks, Penny.
Have
Have a great day.
Bye, guys.